I'm definitely that person that will sit and be like, if I hadn't spent that $20 in January last year, I could have that 20 right now.
And that's ridiculous because it would have got spent on something. Like, please.
Welcome to the Hottest Wellness Podcast. I've got time with Cherry ShaKayla.
Here we discuss personal growth, relationships, and healing to become aligned with the best version of ourselves. Hey.
What's up, girl?
I don't know. I'm trying to get into the holiday spirit.
Holiday season.
How you doing?
I'm alright. I'm making it, you know. I'm doing that thing I do.
What's that?
Fake it till you make it.
Well, yeah. Sometimes that's what you gotta do to make it through.
Yeah. Taking the steps, though.
Yeah.
You know? I archived almost everything on my Instagram today in preparation, you know? And it made me realize, or made me think about how much I've actually done. I've done a lot.
You have.
It's crazy.
Since I met you, you changed a lot too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever listen to that album? This is a DJ Khaled album. I changed a lot.
Probably not. I didn't know what you was even talking about. That's good though.
What type of vibe you on? What's the deets?
I feel like we are in two different places right now. Like, you really are giving Happy New Year, and I'm giving Happy New Year.
Well,
that's usual.
I think I'm just showing up differently, you know?
That's good.
Can't always show up how you feel. Sometimes that just makes you go deeper in it.
Or, like we talked about on last week's episode, sometimes it just regulates your nervous system because you gotta feel how you feel.
True.
But that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you had an epiphany this week? Have you had an epiphany this year?
This year?
Yeah.
Define epiphany again.
Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. One epiphany that I had this year is to celebrate who I am in this moment. Like, from moment to moment, you know? Like, just appreciating who I am, what I've been through, and not to compare myself to other people. Like, I think that was one of the epiphanies I had this year.
I feel like I probably had a bunch of those in different moments throughout the year. I think right now I'm just trying my best not to be hard on myself and who I've been this whole time. And I thought I was being somebody else.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
You can't say nothing no more.
So, you know, we're all a little misogynistic. At the very least.
Yeah, everybody's inherently misogynistic.
I didn't realize how misogynistic I was. And then I learned a thing or two about myself. And, you know, I'm really having a hard time with it.
Well, I feel like you should definitely give yourself room to grow. And also just not blame yourself, because we live in a misogynistic world. Everything from the time we're born until now is like brainwashing us to see things a certain way, to view women a certain way, to see women as not being as equal to men. And so you can't help that a lot of your beliefs align with that, because that's the way of the world. We have to like unlearn it, and I don't think you should punish yourself for that.
I don't think I'm punishing myself. I'm just finding a way to get through it. It's like an additional thing on top of the stack of things that was already, you know.
Yeah, you gotta take it one thing at a time. Like, prioritize what is the thing right now that is really getting to me, and just focus on that. Because when I do that, then I'm less overwhelmed. Or, I'll just, if I don't do that, I'll just don't do anything. Freeze right on up. So, yeah. You want to get into affirmation of the week?
Let's do this. Affirm us.
The affirmation of the week is just start.
Ever since you said you try not to turn right afterwards, it's just funny.
Well, I had to do that.
You're right.
I do be feeling like extra on cam during that moment, though.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'm not really like paying attention to the camera for real. But
just start. Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Yeah. I feel like every year people have this moment where it's like, oh, I wish I would have did this last year, or I said I was going to start this and I didn't. And then they have like this whole moment of self-pity, and it's like, you don't even have to go through that. First of all, you don't have to wait for a new year to start a new habit, to challenge yourself to do something different. Just start right now, because like in 5 years you're gonna be like, I wish I would have started that thing. Imagine how far I would have been if I just started right now. So
it's crazy when you think about stuff like that. Like, a lot of people will be a lot further in life if they just did things instead of waiting.
Because what are you waiting on? It's always going to be something that can hinder you. It's always going to be something that is going to be a blockage in your way. You might as well do that for the things that is worth doing it, for what you actually want your life to become, because we create our reality every second.
Yeah.
And it's like everything that we accept is that we don't want, we just creating that life that we don't want. It's like goofy.
Yeah.
Counterproductive.
Foolish.
Yeah. Well, we can get into the main topic. What's the main topic? What's the last main topic of 2023? That's wild to think about that.
The last main topic
of the year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, bitches.
Every time I say Happy New Year, I think about this one time Robin Williams was on a late night show. And it was like a sexual joke. It was like, Happy New Year! It was funny watching it because it was like, what's he doing? But rip. Robin Williams.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In case you missed the joke, he was ejaculating, saying Happy New Year.
Okay, well, I feel like kind of what we were just saying a little, what was something that we took away, an epiphany for the year, but like if you had to make one reflection about yourself, or like, could you even put it into a quote? What would sum up what you learned in this year?
What I learned? I'm taking this quote from one of Tinashe's mixtapes. Believe is the Reverie mixtape. Who you think you are is who you think you are.
That's deep.
Yeah.
It's really calling you to be who you say you are, to stand on business. Like, we could talk all day and say, this is what I am, who I am, this is what I'm about, but your daily habits is really what says what kind of person you are.
Yeah. And even then, you can be somebody else.
Yeah. You could choose to be somebody else at any minute.
Or you could be the complete opposite of who you think you are and you're just pretending.
Ooh. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people mask, and their true self is somebody that maybe only a few people really get to experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a thing.
Yeah. What about you, sister girl?
Sister girl. My reflection of the year is also a quote, and I tried to find who it was written by, but it was one of those like unknown quotes. And it says, "The universe will never give you peace in something you were never meant to settle in." It's actually quite comforting because a lot of the times we're like grieving our past selves and maybe things we used to do or versions of ourselves. And it's like, you know what? That wasn't for me though.
Yeah.
Like, who would you be right now if you never would have got out of whatever the circumstances, let go of whatever relationship, stop working at whatever job? It's like everything has to happen how it has to happen. And that just is part of your journey. But just know that you're happier right now than you would have been if you didn't do something else.
That's a fact. Child, if I had said yes to going back to doing customer service at that job, I can only imagine how miserable I would have been.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying no and walking out. That was such a lit day. I felt so good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for that feeling again. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. For sure. Especially when it's like you've been dealing with a lot of bullshit or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see this week Taraji P. Henson was like, she's going on a press tour for The Color Purple, and she was talking about how there's such a pay gap between women and men professionally, and she just was speaking to her own experience, like being an actress and especially being a black woman, how much low her pay is in comparison to some of her peers.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's good somebody talking about it.
It needs to be said. And I feel like most people try to say it without saying it. But we need more people that are just going to say what they mean. I really don't like that. I've never been a fan of that. I don't like when people talk around what they saying or trying to use metaphors or something.
Yeah.
Like, just say what you mean.
Yeah, I hate that passive aggressive shit.
We can get a lot further if you're just honest and direct.
Thanks.
And how can we change something if you can't even say what's wrong?
Exactly. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, sometimes people be policing us in our comments like, why are we even bringing this up? Or why are we being divisive? And it's like, it's not being divisive to bring up an issue that people are facing every single day. It's bringing awareness to it so people can reflect on an individual level and say, am I contributing to this issue? And then the more people who realize that they are, then they can change. And as a group, our society will change because, you know, everybody is deciding to think for themselves. But too many people just go along with whatever.
Yeah. Just happy to be there.
It's like for every social, economical, political issue you can think about, there's always somebody on the other side that somehow sees the benefit of it or whatever. Like, And those people need to unlearn.
Yeah. After those guys. And gals.
Yeah.
And theys.
Did you have a favorite episode this year? We did a lot of episodes. I wish I would have seen like how many episodes did we do this year, but I feel like we went through at least a season and a half, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 30 episodes. Because our episodes is 20 episodes long.
Dang, yeah.
Wow.
Well, is it more than that?
If 20 episodes is one season and then we did like an and a half, then that's 10. 20 plus 10 is 30.
Not you breaking it down.
I mean, I don't know. Okay.
I was just thinking about the weeks, but we did take maybe 1 or 2 weeks off.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's true. But then we did just drop a extra episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like it evens out. About 30. Still, that's a lot.
That is.
To say out of 30, which one was your favorite or, I guess, most valuable?
Which one ministered to me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. These last couple weeks, they were doing me in a little bit, calling me out on a lot, revealing a lot about my emotional state. But I know where I'm going. That episode. It was it speaks to one of my largest areas that I'm growing in right now. Mm-hmm. Like having a thought or a feeling, follow my intuition, just going after it and not questioning what's happening or how I'm going to make it work or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I know where I'm going. I got that feeling for a reason.
Yeah. It's honestly so bomb to be able to go back to our own content and like have a reminder like, okay, girl, you got this. Or, you know, sometimes it's a bad week. Or like, what habits are you doing? Like sometimes we need those little reminders. And the fact that it's like literally coming from us, it's like a message to our future self. Like,
yeah,
you're going to need this later.
What about you?
Like in a week. I think Welcome to Womanhood. I feel like that episode gave me a lot because, first of all, one of the clips went viral because of my cowboy hat. And I was talking about cultural appropriation in the video. But instead of like people focusing on what I said, they were talking about how I was being cultural appropriative by wearing that cowboy hat. It's like just taking away from the actual problem that I'm speaking about. Mm-hmm. To talk about something that's like not even a real problem, because if you don't know about like the first cowboys, like if you don't know about vaqueros, read a book for Pete's sake. Like black people almost created everything, so you can never call us appropriating culture. Like, stop.
Yeah, that was crazy. They was going in on that clip.
They were going in.
They was going in for months. Months,
honestly. They were going in, okay? And they was really upset about it. They was upset about my hair color, that it wasn't natural, which, like, how many people in general actually have their natural hair color for real? Like, just stop.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
That was an interesting one. You was cute though. With your cowboy hat on.
I loved it. I wanted to wear it every week after that just so I could trigger people, but you know, I didn't. But then I also just love that episode because it is bringing up so many issues that we face as women, and like only what we can understand, you know what I'm saying, as women.
Yeah.
living in the world. And especially as black women, we have like a whole different experience than other people, for real.
Yeah. We special. Shout out Nunu. Really need to ask if they have that at the library the next time we go.
Oh, remind me to take those movies back.
Oh yeah.
We cannot. That's $1 per day.
I thought it was more than $1.
Each item. $1 per day that you don't return it.
Ugh.
For each item.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Why do you think I want to steal this?
You're gonna borrow time. I mean,
that's crazy.
So moving into the new year, do you feel like is there a checklist? Like, I want to talk about the new year checklist. Like, going into 2024, this is what I feel like I need to accomplish or make peace with before the new year.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't typically subscribe to doing things for the new year or before the new year or New Year's resolutions for real. It's more of just wherever I am by the end of the new year, I need to take action on it. Like for me right now, it's if you really want this, you need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Well, no, I mean, I agree with you for real. I don't usually take time to set apart okay, I guess a resolution, so to speak, because like I said, just you got all year to do it. What you fucking waiting until the next year to do it for?
Yeah.
But I have been trying to be more intentional, and so it's more like goals for me than a resolution. Because if you wasn't gonna do it, then you ain't gonna do it now. Just
yeah,
you might as well even just stop playing with yourself. Like some stuff we just have to accept about ourselves. Like I'm just not this type of person, and that's okay. You just have to find ways around it that's gonna support who you are. Cause some stuff people just don't. That's just not in them.
That could be a whole episode by itself.
Yeah.
Should write that down.
Well, some of the things on my end of the year checklist is to declutter and organize, and I really need to do that because my home looks like what I've been through this year. And it's when it's hard because it's an endless cycle of you don't want to organize it because you feel bad, but then you feel bad because it's not organized, and it's you have to take time at least twice a year during spring cleaning and during the new year. Just get rid of all the shit that you're not going to use anymore, that you haven't used in months. Don't hold on to it. I feel like you got to declutter your home, your emotions. What really took a toll on me this year that I need to get up out of here?
I'm still in it.
You're still in it. In your digital space, like you said, what you was doing, and I'm in the middle of planning my rebrand right now, but I don't have really anything yet, so I'm just in the thinking stage. But yeah, your clothes, you might have lost weight, gained weight, your style might have changed. It's go ahead and donate them clothes, baby. What you doing?
I'm ready to donate everything in my closet.
Yeah, I honestly want to start fresh.
I don't want to wear none of this.
I got a whole new vibe that I'm going for, and it's not going the way I need it to go.
What you going for?
I'm going for stealthy, mysterious, bad girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Showing up. Shout
Ooh. And then the last one, which is the most difficult for me, is your finances. Just seeing what's really good and being honest with yourself so that you can move forward in a healthier direction. No point in shitting on yourself. What's already done is done. You can't change it. So just acknowledge what's really good and go on about your day.
I'm definitely that person that will sit and be like, if I hadn't spent that $20 in January last year, I could have that 20 right now.
And that's ridiculous because it would have got spent on something. Like, please. Mm-mm.
It's really hard for me to get out of that. It
Yeah.
happens all the time. Like, I'm trying to think of something. Like, if I hadn't bought Tony's Tacos, I could have that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, like I said, it is what it is. So, you might as well not even, like, spend your energy on something that already has happened. It's like you borrowing energy from tomorrow to give back to yesterday. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's really a thing. The next thing on my checklist is I feel like you should evaluate your relationships. Every year, I've said this before. Every year, I kind of just like look at my whole life and see like what's working, what's not working, what's in alignment, what's not in alignment. You know, you got 1 year to prove it to me. And that could be a job, it could be a relationship, whatever. And if I look over that year and I'm like, you know what, it's taking more than it's given, I'm just going to go ahead and cancel it right then and there. Like, ain't no point in keep bringing another thing and another thing with me that is not serving me.
I respect that.
Yeah. So I need to evaluate my relationships and just be like, you know, is there ways that I could be a better friend too? Like, reflect on myself, you know what I'm saying? How else do I want to show up? Or maybe, like, it's the end of the year, so I just need to reflect on where all my relationships is. Like, I feel like for me personally, this year, I could have communicated better in my relationships. Just in regards to, like, what I'm going through, so people don't take it personally.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I could have said how I felt more about things, like, in my relationships with people. Because that turns into a whole new thing when you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
Damn. Well, I gotta say, I'm pretty proud of myself. I started calling people. One of my friends, I feel like we started talking less, but it's because we're like text friends, and when it's just a lot going on, it's hard to like make that a priority. But
yeah.
I'd say pretty good.
Well, shout out to you.
Yeah. In comparison, I could do a lot better, if I'm being honest.
Or you could just be happy with where you at now.
I mean, yeah.
Gosh. It's like every time you get half a compliment, you take it right on back.
Ooh.
I feel like it's really important to celebrate yourself at every moment, whoever you is.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a small win or a big win, just celebrate it. Just be proud, like, of who you are.
It's hard.
I seen this one video and this girl was like celebrating my 1 year Duolingo streak, and she was like having a house party.
A year streak? That is something to celebrate.
Yeah. It's like,
That's
it might not be a big deal to somebody else,
days.
but if it's for you a big deal, then you should celebrate as much as you can. And if other people have an issue with it, it's their issue. Like, you can't help if what your success is making other people feel inadequate. They have the same opportunity as you to keep trying. Mm-hmm. We might have all different environments or circumstances or pros and cons in our life, but we all have the same opportunity every day to try again. So,
yeah.
I mean, what can you do?
Just respect it. Don't neglect it.
Yeah. Another thing is on my checklist is to have acceptance. I want to like kind of think about what it is that I need to just go ahead and accept so I can stop spending energy on it, you know?
Not you talking to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I try and like think about what is it that I'm currently grieving. Like when you're really just present with yourself, when you really spend time to meditate and you think about the things that you think about, like what crosses your mind often, how do you feel when it crosses your mind. Sometimes it's just stuff that you need to like let go of. Like there's a few things I feel like that happened within the last couple of years, and I just still keep carrying it along with me, and there's nothing I can do to change it. So I feel like I need to let it go. And do like my girl be saying, try again next week.
Try again next week.
Thanks.
Shout out.
Yeah.
How's she doing?
She's doing all right. She's got her hands full because she's full-time mom in it, you know what I'm saying? She's like a cheer mom. I got 2 friends that are cheer moms right now, and let's just say I'm not looking forward to ever becoming a cheerleader. Yeah. I'm not.
She's not letting that dream go either.
She's not. It's like we need to get Girl Scouts together first before we start talking about cheerleading.
Oof.
Yeah. But that stuff ain't no joke.
Yeah.
And my last thing on the checklist is, I guess it's kind of like also the last thing too. It's just to kind of like let go of certain shit, whether it's like a behavior, a thought process. Is like, okay, I need to really just stop doing this. And also, one thing I feel like I personally want to let go of is trying to keep the peace in situations. Like sometimes I'm like holding back on how I feel about something or something I might do to try and keep the peace in relationships, and I feel like then I start losing myself. And so moving forward, I don't just want to keep the peace in my relationships. I want to like show up as me, so you know I can be fulfilled in life,
so you can be happy.
Is there anything you feel like you letting go of? You need to get it, he don't wanna.
It ain't where he's at. It's where he wanna be. I'm letting go of all the emotions that I've been holding on to but hiding. So, well, it's not so much letting go as it is just opening the box. You know?
Investigating.
Not even investigating, just here's how you feel. Look at it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing though.
I feel like I always appreciate you, but these last few weeks, it's gone up a couple notches.
For real?
You've been, it's like you got one of those makeup mirrors that go in your purse.
A compact?
Yes, a compact. You just open it up and turn it around a little bit and hold it up to me ever so slightly. And then it's like, oh, that's what's going on. So, thanks.
Well, you're welcome, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing. It's forcing me to move in places where I was stuck.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
It's really a thing. You know what else is a thing? I just have to bring this up.
What?
Christian BBLs.
Christian BBLs.
Okay, like, what?
Enlighten us. What is a Christian BBL?
I couldn't tell you because I've never had one. I've been told in several comments that I hate women who are trying to get BBLs, which is not the truth. I do not care if people get BBLs or not. I think that we should learn to love and accept ourselves for who we are. I feel like there's things about me that I would like to change, and if I had the money, I might change it. So I'm not judging anybody else for doing it. But I do think that there are certain precautions we should have with going to get surgeries and shit, and thinking about how serious it is, and that it's literally a major life-changing surgery. Like,
and very invasive. I feel like a lot of people they just don't think about the details of it.
All they thinking about is the results or whatever, and getting lost in what they see other people having on their body. And it's like, I don't think it's worth the risk to me personally. But yeah, this girl, she apparently, I guess she saved and sanctified, and because of that, her BBL is specifically Christian. That means God's watching over her, protecting her, and make sure that nothing happened in the surgery.
The fact that I feel like everybody prayed before they went under, I don't think that's how that works, girl.
I don't think so either. It's like, it's one thing if that's what you got to tell yourself to sleep at night, but why are you sharing that with the internet?
Yeah.
I feel like she just was trying to go viral, and it's like, you know how people, they get that those hate likes. It's like, so many people are disagreeing with you that you start going viral. And I think that's really what it was, because first of all, nobody's really on the side of Christians right now. It's hard to be a Christian now. This is probably the hardest it's ever been, especially with that TD Jakes scandal that's going out. Those memes are hilarious, by the way.
I've been trying my best to scroll, but the moment I came across that album, I can't think of the name of it right now.
Was it called Satin Sheets or something? Or that was one of the
Satin
songs?
Sheets is one of the songs. That song has been a running joke in Twan and I's friendship since the day we met. And I just feel... Somehow I feel validated that it's coming up now. For all the wrong reasons. But it's like... So, other people have heard this.
The internet is a crazy place, honestly.
The Christians are nasty. And TD Jakes been new.
It's like all these random sermons is popping up, and it's like now it sound like it's completely taken out of context.
That's so crazy. I'm not a fan of that.
He was like, one of them was like, have you ever been swallowed up? Oh my God. Yeah. It's just too funny, honestly.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers. Especially for, his family. Oh
my God. I'm so sorry. Whew.
Sleepy time.
Another thing that I wanted to bring up is, remember I sent you that video of the bachelor party? Guys, I'm not sure if this has went viral yet, because I caught it early before it was being shared a lot. But this dude, he looks a good 35. Could be older, could be younger. And he's in the club, popping bottles, got all his friends there, and he said this is his bachelor party because his wife is about to have their baby, and so this is his last hoorah before he becomes a father.
Knowing 2 weeks after that baby is born, he's gonna be back at the club.
His wife's home pregnant right now while he's living it up, popping bottles, spending them diaper money on them drinks. And I just thought, damn, men are so selfish. And like, did he even think about that?
I don't know.
It's like he wanted to have his own baby shower. And it's like, even at a woman's baby shower, they don't get gifts for themselves. Right. It's just to care for the baby. That grinded my gears. Bachelor party? Like, you needed a bachelor party. She's already raising you.
Yeah. It's pretty sick. the idea. I could see somebody getting excited about the idea of it, but I wouldn't think that it would be basically a bachelor party.
Yeah. It's crazy because it almost looked like it could be like a parody or like a spoof, you know what I'm saying? But it's dead. He's dead ass in the club, like popping bottles and like.
Cause he about to have a baby. He probably slept with somebody at his bachelor party. He got his last hurrah, you know.
That's wild, honestly.
Yeah. And how much is his life really gonna change? I feel like, especially somebody that feels like they need a bachelor party. Are you really gonna help with this child?
Right, and that's the thing, because what are you going through right now that you just need to make sure that you have one last hurrah? Like, that's crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
That you even thinking about that already. Like, oh man, I ain't gonna be able to hit the club for a minute. I need to get one last good one out of me. Like, boy, you addicted.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So, I wanted to chat about what kind of lifestyle I'm creating for myself. Who am I in the future? Who is Cherry in the future? And like, what kind of a person am I? What am I doing? And how can I align myself with that now? How can I start to do those things so I'm like actually being that girl?
Who are you?
I think somebody I already am and I want to continue to be is just somebody that has a lot of gratitude. You know what I'm saying? Staying humble. Not too humble though.
Every now and then you gotta shit on these bitches.
I have nothing to say.
You gotta be a worldwide woman, baby.
I don't think that's what she meant.
Tell me. Who wrote that? She did.
Girl. I want to be somebody that has more self-compassion and also compassion for other people. Like, everybody is learning and growing and healing and shit be happening and people get hurt and all you can do is try your best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, can't blame yourself for the stuff that's out of your control. And yeah, just try and show up as a better person every day.
I respect that. Peace, sistren.
Not sistren. I'm one of those people who have like the worst daily habits, I feel like, because I really just don't want to do nothing. I don't want to do anything, so I have to like have a routine for myself so that, you know, I'll be like doing better or whatever. So I feel like this year I want to be more intentional about the time that I wake up and I guess go to sleep. Just like having a better like sleep. A night routine. Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to my therapist about that and she's like, well, I mean, you can start drinking some teas, maybe journal before bed. And it's like, that's so not me right now. So that means I have to start doing those things if that's like the person I want to become. Yeah.
It's a nighty-night tea downstairs.
Oh, yeah, and to be better at self-care.
Okay.
I feel like I have slipped in a lot of ways of self-care. I was talking to my cousin earlier today, and I was telling her, like, how you oil my hair twice a week. And I was like, you know, Cherry really be taking care of me because it's a lot of stuff, like, I just don't have the energy to do for myself anymore. And I was like, dang, like, at one point, I was like, one of those people that just was like, have a shaving routine and get my nails done every 2 weeks or do my own nails. And like, now I just don't care about that stuff. But my cousin was like, you know, sometimes we just take it overboard. Like, I took a minute to work on myself on the inside that I started neglecting myself on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn. Shit.
Shout out, Monty.
Yeah, that's my girl.
I fuck with her.
Yeah. Part of my self-care routine includes exercise, being mindful of my diet, prioritizing my mental and emotional health,
Mm-hmm.
and then also like resting and rejuvenating. Like we talked about that. You can't just rest. You also have to like pour back into that cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. I seen this post by this lady. She's an author. Her name is Felicia Hatcher, and she also like. She's an entrepreneur, but she's somebody like teaches people how to, I guess, better effectively manage themselves so they can manage their businesses better.
Mm-hmm.
And last week for the Treehouse, we did her book for the Read of the Week, and it's called Genius Jam.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was talking about how we could fill up our cup or whatever, and your cup can be full, and it's like you have to release some stuff so that you can be able to pour more back into your cup.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to give up certain habits to allow those other habits in, certain thought process to allow yourself to form new thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it sucks kind of a little bit. You be letting go of parts of yourself, and you be like trying to catch it, like, who am I? I'm changing.
You gotta change. You gotta let it go, like Effie.
Mm-hmm. Cool, it Effie. Yeah.
Self-care. I feel like I need to redefine self-care for myself. I don't know if I don't know. It's like I know what self-care kind of looks like. I know what it looks like to me. I just haven't been doing it.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. I definitely got to get back in a routine. I got to get into it, stick to it.
Yeah. So what do you think about your future self? What are you like in the future?
Well, future me says what I'm thinking and doesn't doubt the words before they come out. I realize that is what causes the pauses in my speech. Like, on top of me thinking, like, right before I'm about to say something, it's like I'm already doubting that these aren't the right words.
Mm-hmm.
So, future me is like, this is what I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
Future me is not afraid of how she feels, you know. She calls her mom more. Back in routine, working out every day, doing what I gotta do, keeping my hair done, staying hot. It's part of the vibe. It's the energy, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Committing to myself. She's committed to herself.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever played MASH before?
Mm-mm.
Like when I was in middle school, we used to play MASH, and it was like you write down M for mansion, A for apartment, S for
Shack.
Oh, shack. I keep wanting to say shoe girl. And then H is for house. And so, like, you go through and you count all of the letters in your name, I think. And then you get whatever you get, like, from the last thing. So it's like you can predict your car, your house, how many kids you gonna have, if you're gonna be married or single. And it's like, that was so interesting. Like, even at that small age, we were like basically manifesting or thinking about like, who am I in the future? I thought about that right now. Like, the person I am now is definitely completely different than who I thought I would be years ago.
Who did you think you would be?
Well, I don't know. I guess I thought I would be like more free. I don't know. Maybe more accomplished professionally, but it's not that I'm not accomplished professionally. I just don't I don't work in a career field that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where you can measure how accomplished you are. I don't know. I definitely thought I would have been famous already by now, so.
Yeah, me too. I thought I'd have my own record company by now. But I don't want to have a record company anymore. Like, outside of just managing myself. I don't want the responsibility of having to be in charge of somebody else's career. I would love to assist. Y'all need me. But I don't want to be obligated to do all the things for somebody.
Yeah. I agree. Like, it's certain things that I think I could assist, not specifically in music, but just like, say, a production company in general. Like, I think I would be specifically good at like branding, like curating their style, what their vibe is, their aesthetic, you know what I'm saying, creating content around that. I think I'll be really good at that. But for some reason, I just can't do it for myself.
I think you can. I think maybe just in this part of life right now, you just don't have the energy. You could definitely do it for yourself, though.
Yeah.
You got all the tools and skills and you know?
Yeah.
You got that sprinkle. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you want to get into mental health matters?
Mental health matters. Yeah.
This week for Mental Health Matters, we just want to pose a question. Like, if you were going to have a reflect and maybe journal, it's the end of the year. The question is, how can I better nourish myself to support my goals? So, I feel like instead of thinking, what else could you be doing to make the dream work, how can you support yourself so that you can have the energy to make the dream work? Yeah.
That's a good question.
Like, what do you really need? Do you need stability? Do you need a network? Like, you know, do you need comfort? Do you need time to rest? What do you need to support yourself as you transition?
Yeah. I feel like the easiest thing is just starting. Kind of like the affirmation. It's easy to do it again once you do it the first time and the second time. You gain momentum in it. It's easier for you to just do it.
Yeah, that's true. I think sometimes we make life harder for ourselves because we're like resisting change. Like, you know, there's this certain thing about yourself that you just really need to just go ahead and move on from. But it's like you're resistant to the change, or maybe like, you know, you really want to be doing a certain field of work, but you feel like, oh, it's stability in the job that you have. It's just little things that we do. And it really does take a lot of strength and a lot of bravery to like commit to changing yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to show up for ourselves the best the way that we possibly can to support all of that. Because it's a lot that come with it. Like when you changing, you be affected emotionally and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I try to go with the natural cycles of the earth. It's like we just had winter solstice. That means it's time for us to go inside. It's time for us to, you know, care for ourselves, give us our extra nourishing, you know what I'm saying? So that when the spring comes, you can pop out.
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely for me. Basically, like we said earlier, think about who I want to be and what that person would be doing, and I just gradually start doing those things because that's how you get there.
Yeah. I'll tell you what person I'm not gonna be.
Who?
Somebody that's paying them student loans. I'm not doing it. I'm not paying those student loans back.
Not gonna happen.
You guys know that the student loans were on a deferment federally. Basically since COVID, and in October they started back. So over 9 million people did not make the payment in October, me included,
and still haven't made a payment.
And not gonna make a payment because first of all, they said that they were gonna cancel our student debt, and they know that we can't afford to pay our student debt. If we can't even afford housing, you can't be serious.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that they're expecting people to be able to pay that on top of everything else and the cost of living. And then the amounts that they expect people to pay.
It'd be like $500 a month. Like $500.
Somebody said on Twitter. It's not X to me. Somebody said on Twitter their student loan payment was like $1,200. Who's paying that?
Exactly. That's a whole bill.
Like, that's rent for some people. Nobody's paying $1,200 for student loans. You're crazy.
It's crazy because the same people that we're borrowing this money from are the people who spent $2,000 a year going to college.
If that.
Exactly, if that. And, you know, there was a time when white people could go to college for free. And it wasn't until people of color started demanding that they are allowed to get their education as well that they started charging for it. The fact that we even pay for college is based on a racist institution. We really shouldn't be paying none of this shit.
Yeah, education should be free. It's really crazy that y'all wanted to charge us to read books.
Like, y'all got money to fund wars, to fuck over other places and people, but y'all don't have the money to develop our educational system. Come on now.
And don't forget the country's in debt.
That they just keep creating more money from. They're like, oh no, we're not in debt. Let's just make $50 million more. Like this stuff is all made up, and we're the only ones that have to abide by these rules. Like, it's honestly getting ridiculous. I'm glad that people are starting to be like, yeah, no, I'm not paying this shit, because it's just impossible. And we shouldn't have to. There's a lot of things that should be free on earth, and it's not.
Yeah. Like food.
And water.
Literally something that comes from the earth.
Yeah. I seen this video the other day, and this girl was talking about Nestle and how much water that they take from other sources, and then they charge us to buy the water. And it's like so much water. I mean, you can imagine, we as a family drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
And they just charging it. They're just going to get it for free, saying, I own this land. I'm going to go get this water for free. I'm going to manufacture it and sell it to people.
That's crazy. And did you also see, I think Colorado is, I think it's Colorado. They're the second state where they're now allowed to use wastewater.
It was California.
California. They can use wastewater for drinking water now.
Yeah.
And they're not required to like fully filter it.
Mm-hmm. It's disgusting. If you ever see those videos and they like do the test of the water and stuff, it's like, honestly, even some bottled water is terrible for you. Mm-hmm. It's honestly obscene. And that's one of those things, like, as American, you just don't even know if what you're eating and drinking is safe. Like, a lot of people don't care about shit like this until it starts impacting them. Like, this has been affecting Flint, Michigan for years now. They haven't had clean drinking water for years. Yeah. And now it's going to be those rich people in California that can't get no water. I bet you they make a big deal out of it now.
So, will they?
Well, people always think it can't be them until it's them.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be back to well water.
Girl.
You know my parents, they got a well at their new house.
No, I didn't know that.
We had one at the old house, but...
Yeah, that's something I want, but... Yeah, I don't know. Something I might not want to have to deal with right at this moment, you know.
I mean, as far as I know, it's not really... You ain't got to do nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think we ever had to really do anything.
So it's nothing to maintain, or like the water's just coming there?
As far as I know.
We don't know nothing.
I'll call my dad and ask.
That's hilarious.
He'll know.
Have you been seeing what they've been talking about, the Mandela effect?
Mm-hmm. The whole Fruit of the Loom thing.
Yeah.
I remember the cornucopia.
Everybody knows the cornucopia.
It's really strange that they're like really trying to deny it.
Yeah. Honestly, it's just another way that the government tries to gaslight American citizens. Like, these two guys, they were having a conversation on their podcast, and they were, insisting that this is really just something that the government does, is try and change little things in history to see how much they can change over time, and then create a whole new reality and say this stuff didn't happen. Which, like, it seems like something that can't happen, but here we are getting certain books banned, certain information that can no longer be talked about in school, and that's just the beginning of it.
Yeah, soon it'll be like slavery never happened.
And that's just crazy. They'll do anything to get out of paying us reparations.
Even though they pay everybody else.
Everybody else.
That is mind-blowing.
And we're the ones that's still mostly impacted to this day. It's honestly insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Well, what can you do?
What can you do? Well, I just kind of want to talk about the numerology of next year, 2024. You know the numerology of the year if you just add up all the numbers of the year. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 is 8. It's an 8 year. And 8 is a symbol of abundance. 8 is a symbol of manifestation, many paths available to you. It's like, to me, a very exciting year. Like, I think next year is going to be magical.
I feel it in my nuggets.
Yeah. if the energy is working for you to be more abundant, whether that is financially or in your health, like, go with that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, let the energy do something for you. 3 words that are connected to the energy of 8 next year. It symbolize the energy. It's leadership.
I'm just counting.
Power. And karma.
The Girl Scout law.
And so, to me, that just says what goes around comes back around. As above, so below. Que sera, sera. It's all the same thing in different languages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. Felt like a good place to plug that in.
You sounded really good.
Well, thanks.
Is there anything else that you wanted to, I guess, jump into or discuss?
Something that wasn't on the docket.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you feel about the music this year?
I feel like there was some good music. I don't think it was any music that was life-changing, though. I feel like this was a great year for women in music. And that's awesome.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What you think about the music this year?
Kind of same.
Yeah.
It had its moments. There were some artists that I really care about that dropped, and that was cool, but yeah, nothing was was life-changing.
Mm-hmm. I feel like for most people, the most life-changing thing in music this year was the Renaissance tour. You just had to be there, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one last thing I wanted to bring up, and I really want to bring it up because I feel like it's so irresponsible, the message that it sends. So Dr. Jackie from Married to Medicine, she's an obstetrician. She did some weird shit, and so now people start pulling up her old tweets and videos and stuff that she's saying. And one video resurfaced where she was having a conversation and saying that black women like to cry wolf and that they exaggerate their pain or whatever it is that they go through in their pregnancy just so they can get time off of work. This is exactly what she said. Sometimes as African American women, we're a bit more dramatic, and that you go to the doctor and you complain and you're not taken seriously because you cry wolf the entire pregnancy. Be serious with your doctor and not playing games so they can take you off work, because then we see you 25 times in a pregnancy. It's hard to believe that there's a true problem. So in response to that, so many people came out on TikTok talking about experiences they had being Dr. Jackie's patient and how it was a horror story from birth, like pregnancy, everything. And it really just disgusted me that she would say this as a black woman, as a black female doctor, when black women are 3 times as more likely than any other race or ethnicity to die in childbirth. 3 times. And the medical industry is extremely racist. They treat black people like this all the time. But especially black women, they never take our pain seriously. Like recently, I was going back and forth to my gastroenterologist, and the medication that I'm on is not working. So she was like, okay, well, we're going to put you on this other medication too that's supposed to assist with it, and then hopefully it'll help and work out. I get some tests done, and my stuff is like 5,000 more times than what it's supposed to be. And she was like, oh, like, we didn't expect it to be this bad. But I was like literally complaining of pain and saying like how I still didn't feel good and I didn't think my medicine was working. And she had to wait to see the test results to believe that like I wasn't doing good.
Yeah, that's really crazy. I was actually talking about this with Twan recently. Just how it's unfortunate, but at least as of right now, we have to implement white tears to get the care and attention that we need.
Mm-hmm.
It's like white tears, specifically white women's tears, are the standard for, oh, you're really hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, we have to, I guess, kind of step outside of ourselves, because we're so used to having to hold everything in and not be in pain because we got to take care of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we have to be more expressive in how we feel, just so somebody can believe that we're actually in pain.
Mm-hmm. And it's a damn shame, honestly. Like, it's ridiculous at this point. And she should be embarrassed of herself to be saying things like that. And it's just a shame. Because, like, women go through so much, especially black women. And to basically just be shitting on us and make it seem like, oh, something's not wrong with us. Like, that's not okay. It's just not.
It sounds like when people refer to somebody that's like from the hood and they just think everybody act the same, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It sounds like you just think all black people are the same.
It's like that episode we was just watching, A Smart Guy, and Yvette had got a job working at this clothing store in the mall. Mm-hmm. And her friend was both working there, and she asked her friend why was she following all the black people around in the store, because she noticed, and she was like, basically, our manager told me to do that. Mm-hmm. And she was like, what? And she confronted the manager about it, and the manager was like, well, I've been working in retail all these years, and certain type of people just steal. They're still all the time. And so then she did this, basically conducted this experiment. She put some cameras up, and then she had two of her friends come in, one that was white and one that was black, and they both were going around. The white dude actually was picking shit up and taking it. Mm-hmm. And she was just kept following the black dude around, like, and yeah, that's what it's like being black every single day. Somebody assuming that you're on some weird shit. When statistically, white middle-aged women steal more than anybody else.
Yeah. All they gotta do is cry to get out of it.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you missed on America.
Well, we can close out the episode. And last week we introduced our new segment, The Assignment. And last week, what did I say?
I definitely don't remember what I said last week.
That's sad already.
Maybe that means I'm doing it. It's out of my mind.
My assignment was to feel my feelings. And Cherry's assignment, I didn't write Cherry's down because she put something else. I don't know what you said. Was it? No, I don't know what it was.
It's okay. I've moved on. Life goes on.
Life goes on. Well, anyways, we're basically going to have a broad assignment for the year, what it is. Mm-hmm. And my assignment is that I'm committing to be the best version of myself and becoming more and more of me, the real me. Not any part of me that I'm suppressing or pretending not to be or hiding because I'm ashamed of it or scared of actually being shine bright in it in something that I'm good at. Like, I just want to really just be authentically me. For real.
Yeah. Be you. You know you got the power, girl. You got enough fire to light up the world. Jump a little higher like I know you can. Paint the town pink. Come on, join the band.
Think pink.
It's your favorite color, girl.
Pink.
And you will discover, girl.
If you know that song, say something in the comments.
Yeah.
The girls that get it, get it.
You can totally be one of my close friends.
Do you have a close friends? Do you post on close friends on Instagram?
Oh, no, that is not what I meant.
Oh.
That is not what I meant. I meant we can actually be friends.
Mm-mm. Tell my friends. Oh.
You can't escape it. I hate it.
Everywhere. Wow.
It's always the most influential people.
Well,
that's part of the game. Shit. Yeah.
Well, without further ado.
Hold on, girl.
Oh, well, what?
What about my assignment?
Oh, what's your assignment? Sorry.
Dang, you really
my bad, y'all.
Close it up.
You just was giving us the over vibes. You wasn't acting like you was about to say nothing.
I'm living my life. Well, you about to get your yawn on, okay? Well, my assignment is to be patient with myself and, take the actions that my future self would make. Get to it, you know? Don't wait to become that person. Be that person.
Yeah. Be about that action. I feel like we're kind of doing the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Living our dreams, because it's not as hard as it may seem. But you gotta work.
Nobody wants to work anymore.
Shout out to Kim. Hope she's okay.
I'm sure she's doing just fine. Well, without further ado,
I've got time.